Are your emails accidentally sending your subscribers to the unsubscribe button? You're working so hard to build your email list, but are your sales where you want them to actually be? The truth is, salesy emails backfire more often than not, but that doesn't mean that you don't sell. But what if there was a way to actually nurture your subscribers to turn them into buyers so they become eager paying customers without ever feeling pressured to buy your things? In this video, I'm revealing 3 non-salesy email nurturing secrets that will turn your subscribers into buyers. Let's dive in. So, how do we actually transform subscribers into buyers without being pushy? Well, that's why we want to nurture with value. So, today I am going to break down 3 non-salesy email nurturing secrets that you can start implementing in your online business today. These are going to build genuine connections with your audience and turn them into the most amazing customers that come back to you again and again and again. Here is what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about stories and how you can use those in your emails. We're going to talk about the long form content that you're already creating and how you can use that to nurture inside your emails. And we're also going to talk about my number 1 tip and secret to nurturing your subscribers into buyers, and that is quick wins. Ready? Let's dive in. So the very first thing that you want to do when it comes to nurturing is to use storytelling, because this allows us to connect on a human level. So we want to harness the power of storytelling in our emails. And here's why. People connect with stories. We remember stories more than anything else. So when you are sitting down to sell an offer, right, it's not about switching into marketing speak, salesy speak. Start with telling a story. And the way that you generate these stories largely comes down to your own experience with the offer that you're looking to sell. So stories don't feel like a direct sales pitch, right? Because when you are using stories to highlight a point that you want your audience to understand, show that you yourself have experienced the thing that you're helping them solve, those types of things, then they really do build trust and connection. And we all know that we need know, like, and trust in our business in order for people to recognize us as the person that can help them. So here is how you do that in your emails right now. The first thing that you want to do is come up with stories that are relevant to your actual offer. So what I mean by that is you, first and foremost, have probably experienced a problem that relates to the offer. So what's the story around that? What can you share? Now, this doesn't need to be a really long-winded story. It can be 1 or 2 lines of text. That's it. But you want to start with a story and make sure it relates to the offer. Like, how did you discover this solution? How did this come about? What were you experiencing when you created the offer? The other way that you can use stories is to highlight the transformation. So before and after. We see this all the time in the health industry, particularly if you're a health coach, fitness coach, then this is where you will excel, because it's very clear. It paints a very clear picture of what life was like before and what life looks like after, when all the problems have been solved. And just like I said, email stories do not need to be novels. Keep it concise, keep it to the point. This is why I'm a huge fan of having a story bank where I just capture stories all the time and pull elements out of those stories to use in my emails. The more that you practice this muscle, this storytelling muscle, the easier it is for you to, 1, identify stories, and 2, know which stories to use in your emails that directly relate to an offer. So secret number 2 is to share your long form content in your emails. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this, and it really depends on the long form content platform that you yourself are using. So don't hide your most valuable content. If you've got a blog, if you've got a YouTube channel, if you've got a podcast, share that content with your audience, particularly your email subscribers. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. One, if you are doing a lot of content on your long form content platforms, then you could create an email that is a curated email, one that shares the top 3, top 5 blog posts, podcast episodes, YouTube videos that directly relate to your offer and takes your customer on a journey. So I'm hoping that your long form content is related to your offers, right? I'm a huge fan of not creating content just for the sake of creating content. So always make sure that your long form content has a purpose. So when you are doing this inside your emails, you can curate it, right? Top 5, what's the best way to help them understand something along those lines. You will know your content best, and you're just going to make sure that you hyperlink to each one, but make sure there is a benefit for each link, right? So when you're sharing blog posts, for example, and you've got the title, then you want to have after that a bridging piece of content, something that says so that you can, right? So if you've got a blog post that says 5 emails to convert your subscribers into buyers, so that you can, right, is how you would transition into how that is going to benefit them, so that you can start writing emails that actually speak to your ready to buy customers. So using the so that you can statement or bridge is a really great way to highlight the benefit that they will get from reading, listening, watching your piece of amazing content. The other way that you can do this is to take one piece of content, throw it into your AI tool of choice, and ask it to pull out one thing from your long form content to highlight in the email, but leave an open loop so that they need to go and either read, listen, watch that piece of content. So those are the 2 different ways that you can use your already amazing content in an email to provide value and nurture your ready to buy customers. And then secret number 3, which is probably my favorite, is using quick win how-tos in your email. Now, these are still value-based, nurture-based emails that you're writing, but this is where you're going to provide a quick win, something that your audience can actually implement from that specific email. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can come up with this, and if you paid attention in secret number 2, you could probably do this pretty quickly. So my favorite way of pulling quick wins, of identifying them, is 1, being very clear on the offer that I'm wanting to sell, and then 2, going and looking at my long form content, typically my YouTube channel, and pulling a video that I know speaks directly to whatever it is that I'm wanting to highlight. What I will do is grab that transcript, throw it into my AI tool of choice, and ask it to pull out a quick win from that content. How can my audience implement something directly from this email? So it's very specific, action orientated how to content that has your audience going, wow, like this was really easy, really simple to implement. So you want to make sure when you're throwing that into your AI tool that you want to pull a quick one out that is achievable, easy, simple, can be implementable within, a day, an hour, ideally, so that when you are sharing that with your audience, they are just like, wow, this is easy. I wonder what more I can learn from this person. And then make sure that you link to any additional content that further supports whatever quick win you've just provided. So that could be more long form content, but it could also be your actual offer. No matter what you're doing with your emails, make sure that you are nurturing, right? It's so important to nurture your audience so that they get to know, like, and trust you. And then every single email needs to have a call to action, and that could be a call to action directly in your content or in your PS, which is my favorite way to do this. Nurturing doesn't work unless you also soft sell. Now, I have a framework called the Nurture and Sell framework, which I teach inside the Grow, Nurture, Sell collective, so that you have a very specific content framework to follow when you go to write nurture-based emails to your audience. So implementing these nurturing strategies is key to building a thriving email list that also opens and clicks your emails, but also turns them into paying customers, turns them into people that will come back and buy from you again and again and again. So if you're ready to dive deeper into this, I do go over this in the daily sales ecosystem, which is part of the Grow, Nurture, Sell Collective. You'll find more information about that in the description below, but the video that is coming up on your screen right now is going to walk you through the entire daily sales ecosystem. So you've got a really clear understanding about what that looks like and how you can start doing that in your own business today. I'll see you in that video.